In this wonderful season of joy, Thanksgiving, and family, I want to share with you an experience, a gift that I've given to myself that keeps giving and giving and giving. Yes, between the macaroni and cheese and the dressing, I'm going to tell you about the gift that keeps on giving. A few years ago, actually maybe give or take about 10 years ago, I decided to work on a chronic problem that I was having with my mother. Now, the problem had been going on for years, but for me, it kind of got to a head at that point. I hated her, y'all. Just plain and simple. Absolutely hated her. I saw my mother's existence and every time she reached out to me as a threat to my happiness and to my stability as a person. Y'all, I'm like, God damn, she always got issues, she always got problems, and she always wants some help, and she is a drain, and no. But here's the thing. I was also raised in a family, a Southern traditional black family, that made me feel like no matter what, it's still your mama and you have a sense of duty. Now here's the backdrop to that. I didn't grow up with my mother. My mother was a teenage parent, so I spent my years with my grandmother. And then when I was about 12 or so, my mother developed a drug addiction that lasted well over 30 years. And that really took a toll on our relationship. And just the resentment for all that I wanted her to be and all that she was not, it just reached a peak for me. And literally, I would just become enraged when I would even see her name on the caller ID on my phone. Serious, it was that bad. And I just didn't like how it seemed like that fire was getting out of control. It was taking over my ability to be the kind of woman I wanted to be. And I hated the fact that something like that could pull my chain so frequently and so hard. So I decided, okay, Mylena, what do you need to do to deal with this? Because it wasn't what the church folks say, just forgive and forget. I hate those kinds of platitudes. And you don't even have to give me comments about that because those are the kinds of people I dismiss. I don't even hear them anymore. But I needed to figure out, what can I do to manage this internal inferno? So I began to go on a journey to understand how my mother became the person she was. I mean, who wants to be a drug addict? Seriously, who wants to be a drug addict? And as I began to take that journey to understand my mother, I started to talk to my aunts and my uncles. I started to listen to my mother a little bit. Sidebar, I couldn't take my mother on a regular basis because she has some patterns that drive me nuts. A lot of self-loathing, a lot of self-pity, woe is me. I can't take that every day. I know you may have a difficult journey, but I'm the kind of person, I can't deal with that every day. But my point is, in talking to my family members, talking to my aunts and uncles, talking to some people in the neighborhood who knew my mother, I learned that my mother had dealt with a lot of just issues, pain, and agony that she probably never had an opportunity to deal with. Like, one of my aunts told me that my mother tried to commit suicide as a teenager. I mean, Grandma, why was that story left out? I mean, okay. So as I began to understand and to seek out more of her journey, I noticed the more I understood, the less I could hate her. And what I mean by hate her and feel okay and justified in my hate, okay? So as I began to understand, also in that same process, empathy for her began to grow. And the more I understood, the more I understood. But I also was clear in this conviction. Though you might have challenges, though you might have issues, it is beyond me to fix you and your problems. That work is for you and God. As I began to accept that, look, I can understand, I can have compassion, I can't fix, but I also can't cut her off completely because that wasn't working for my personal ethos. It wasn't working for me in terms of being the kind of person I wanted to be, nor the kind of daughter I wanted to be. Here's the funny thing. I wanted to define, and I chose to define, the kind of daughter that I wanted to be. That was not the kind of daughter she wanted. To this day, she still doesn't have the daughter that she wants. But she has the daughter who shows up consistently. She has the daughter who shows up in a manner that doesn't treat her poorly, that doesn't disrespect her, that allows her to be who she is. And here's how I'm able to do that. I've expected and come to expect that my mother will be consistent. She is who she is. She's worked on some of her issues, and some things she does still get on my nerves. But because I've come to expect consistency, I've learned how to not only erect the boundaries that I need, but I've learned how to teach her how to respect those boundaries. Is our relationship perfect? But it is a million miles from what it used to be. The gift that I gave myself was to face the thing that was driving me nuts the most. What I want to invite you to do over the holiday season is to really give yourself the gift of introspection about the thing that besieges you the most. Look at it, take it apart, investigate it, because that work, even when you have to look at things that you don't like, when you have to confront the disconnects in your own thought processes, it makes you a better person. It gives you the emotional and intellectual freedom to decide how you are going to show up in the world, in your life, and subsequently how you are going to show up in the lives of the people who you love and who you care about and who care about you no matter what's going on. Give the gift of peace, joy, and internal integrity to yourself. That is way more than anything you could buy. It is going to be the gift that rewards you the most. Design the life that you want to live and choose to confront the person that you are so you can decide the kind of person you want to be and be that. Happy holidays.